Alright, getting ready to sand, and I'm just going over the floor one last time to make sure that I didn't miss any nails or staples. Got this floor scraper, got it from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below for it. Your support is greatly appreciated, and remember, as an Amazon affiliate, I get a very small commission, but you pay the exact same price. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just going through scraping these floors just to make sure I haven't missed any nails. Now you want to be super careful with this. It's really sharp. It will gouge the floor. And so just take your time, work carefully with it, and you should be all right. So I'm just working in sections here. Right there's a staple. Right there. There's a nail right there. A bad one. Get under that or what? It's right at the seam. Let's see if I can gently. So sometimes, so I've got a really bad nail right here. I'll show you here in just a second. So if you look right there, you can see that nail. The head's busted off. It might actually be a screw. I can't quite get the nail puller on it. I'm going to try the hammer. It's not quite up far enough for the hammer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 5-in-1 painter's tool here, and I'm going to drive it back and forth and see if I can get it to lift out of the floor a little bit. Get you over here so maybe you can watch. And let's see, so now I'm just going to take and drive it back and forth. Now let's see if we can get the hammer on it. Nope. Let's see if we can get a hold of it with these pliers. Look at that. Alright, so I got it up enough now that I can get on it with this nail puller. Boy, that's in there good. Got it. So that was worth pulling because that would have just totally ripped up my sandpaper. I'm going to mount you back up and I'm going to keep scraping here. Okay, so safety first. This is probably going to be noisy, so I've got some earplugs here. I'm going to plug up here. Okay, so you've got this pad here, and you just put it on, you put your sandpaper, this is 36 grit sandpaper on the floor. Get it square. You roll this up on it. seems to me I probably won't need that because it's not kicking up a lot of dust. I'll move you up here a little bit. You see what's going on here? It's leaving all this stuff here. That's going to be a problem. So I don't know what's going on here. I'm not sure how to fix this. But it's sure making a mess out of this floor. It's leaving all this. The floors are really sticky. I wonder if it's because this is a shellac surface instead of like a varnish. But if this could be a real problem, this could be a real nightmare. Fingers crossed. He thinks we have a problem. He thinks we have a problem. Because it sure stopped. Seemed to So I had to do a little research. I had to figure out what was going on, and there's a couple things that's happening here. This is a varnish finish, not polyurethane, and so it tends to want to ball up. It's plugging up the paper, which is no big deal. I was expecting that, but a bigger issue is that if you see right here, these stripes, that's from the floor being refinished before. And that's from the drum basically burning into the wood because it wasn't done properly. I suspect it was probably homeowner done. And so it's gonna be a real pain. I'm still resistant to trying to get a drum sander. If I can't get these out with this machine, then I'll go get a drum sander. But for right now, we're just gonna keep at this. Turns out it's not real dusty. At least this part of it, getting the finish off, hasn't been real dusty. So we're just going to keep grinding on this, and I'll check back with you in a while and kind of let you know where we're at. But it is what it is. We're going to have to just muscle through it. So as you can see here, I threw in the towel and I went ahead and got the drum sander. And so I started to do drum sanding. At this point, I'm already into the living room. It's going pretty fast. But I want to point something out. So how I'm not allowing the end point to be at the same place, I'm kind of randomizing that back and forth a little bit. That's to protect from getting lines that show up in your finish. You can see there that I had to change the belt out. And what I'm doing is I had to sweep the floor, because what happens is when those belts give up, they throw 20 grit everywhere, and that'll damage your floor if you go ahead and sand on that. So again, I think it's important to notice that. So when I'm coming with this finishing pass, I'm going well past the end of where I ended it on the first pass to make sure that that's feathered out nice and you don't have any kind of ridges there. As I'd mentioned earlier in the video, it's really important to get all the nails out, and as you can see there, I missed one. And it tore up the sandpaper, so there goes another $4 down the drain. I didn't get much use out of that last piece. But I'm just going to continue on, and again, notice how where the end of the stroke is, I am randomizing that. So I'm going past a little bit further each time, and that will help again protect from any lines that might show up in the floor. So here what I've done is I've changed over to the orbital sander, and I'm kind of working to see if I can get some scratches out. And I gave up on that because that wasn't working either. But back to the drum sander, and eventually a little bit of sanding, it'll take scratches right out. All right, so the initial plan was try to go with this pad sander. This guy, it's a random orbital type of sander, was the 36 grit. And what was happening is that the finish was just balling up and plugging up this pad. And once there got to be enough on it, then the pad wasn't touching the ground. Now this pad's not even close to wear out. It was just plugging up, and there wasn't anything I could do about it. In fact, it would melt the finish and stick it back to the floor where it was bare. And it was just a huge problem. Then we tried a belt sander. This guy, the drum sander, I think is what they call that one. Yeah, the drum sander. Then we tried the drum sander with 60. And you can see this is clear, plugged up, full of that finish. And so that wasn't going to work. So then I ended up getting this 20 grit, and it hasn't plugged up. It's been great. I get, maybe 150, 200 square feet out of one belt before they blow up. And when they blow up good. Here's a good example. When they let go, there's 20 grit everywhere. So anyway, into the first day, and I've got the bedroom done. I've got the living room done. Well, the bedroom and the living room are sanded with the 20 grit on the drum sander. Still some problem spots that I've got to take care of, and I'll be doing that in the very near future. But for now, I think I'm going to knock off for tonight. We'll pick this up again in the morning. Okay, so you saw me do the dining room there. Not a lot of work. Well, it is a lot of work. I'm sweating like a pig. But I got the scratches out in there. Now I have to work on some scratches in here and finish up leveling this out. You can see here, like that there is the old finish there. So there's a high spot right there. I'll come in and hit that. But you see these scratches here? And there's some over here too. In this light, I think you might be able to see them better. Scratches. So I'm going to work on those and see if I can get the scratches out before I change belts again. Then I'm going to go to a finer grit. I think I'm going to go up to 60 and hit it again and see what the results are. So stay with me. We're not quite done yet. We've got a ways to go.